Picture yourself sitting in a comfy chair reading your favorite manga. You're reading an intense battle. The fight choreography is seamlessly flowing from panel to panel, where you can almost imagine it playing out in your head. Then you think to yourself, man, I would love for this to be animated. I can assure you, you aren't the only one that thought that while reading the manga. Today, I'm going to make an anime out of a manga that I really enjoy. Welcome to Anime Season Roadmap, where I take a series that either has an anime coming out, or has no anime at all, and make one season based off the contents in the manga. If you're new here, my name is Yuno, and now you know. If you enjoyed this video at any point, leaving a like will be appreciated. If you like this video, feel free to check out the channel, and if you like what you see, kick back, stay a while, and hit the subscribe button. Now onto the video. One series that's already been announced to have an anime coming out is Kaiju number 8. Since it's already been announced, we know what studio is doing it, we know how the animation looks, so most of our job is done. All we have to do is plan it out. Kaiju number 8 is a very fast-paced series, so I can see this season going by super fast. I'm going to assume that the first season is going to have about 14 episodes. Now, let's get to it. Episode 1. This episode will cover the first 53 pages of Chapter 1, introducing us to the world. I can see this starting off calm, and then we jump into a crazy kaiju attack. Showing the action of the defense force will be epic. Then we are introduced to Kafka and the cleaning crew, and then the introduction of Reno. This will lead us into the incident that brought Reno and Kafka to the hospital, ending off with Kafka sitting up in his kaiju form. Now for our opening, I was thinking something high-paced and pseudo-heavy metal sounding. Episode 2. This episode will cover pages 45 to 55 of Chapter 1 and all of Chapter 2. This episode, I could see a lot of comedy and fun brought into the series. Kafka and Rena's discourse going insane of being a kaiju, and the last page of Chapter 2 is the perfect place to end on. Episode 3. This chapter will cover Chapters 3 and 4. Kafka and Reno will take the test for the Defense Force. In this episode, we will be brought to introduce Kikoru Shinomaya. Seeing Kafka go through the test struggling while everyone else breezes through will be such a funny moment. Episode 4. This episode will cover chapters 5 through 6. The final phase of the test begins where all the testers have to fight against a fleet of kaijus. Seeing Kafka play support was really cool in these chapters. I think that's great to see Kafka work with other soldiers. With Kafka getting attacked, we then see Kikoru go on a slaughter spree. This episode will end with Kikoru getting shot. Episode 5. This episode will cover chapters 7 through 8 and 4 pages of chapter 9. With Kikoru injured by the unidentified kaiju, she stands strong and fights. This will be a great episode to show the determination of Kikoru. Kafka showing up and taking out the kaiju will be quick because he completely one-shots them. This episode will end with Hoshina in his inner monologue. Episode 6. This will cover pages 5 through 16 of chapter 9 and chapters 10 through 11. I will start the episode off with Kaiju number 9 in the bathroom right before the intro. Then leading into Kafka and Reno in the hospital with Mina coming in. Chapter 10 was dialogue heavy and having Hoshina play on his suspicions of Kafka. Episode 7. This episode will cover chapters 12 through 14. Hoshina's platoon is setting out the Sagami Hara for a neutralization operation. You already know how battles go in the series, everything goes by insanely fast. We'll get a showcase of a few characters, Kikoru, Reno, Aihara, Hoshina, and even Mina in this episode. This episode will end with Reno and Aihara seeing a cleaning crew member. Episode 8. This episode will cover chapters 15 through 17. Reno and Aihara discover the cleaning crew member is Kaiju number 9. They are pushed against the lines while being attacked by Kaiju number 9. This episode will showcase how powerful number 9 is. Aihara will do what he can to fight back, but not be enough. This episode will end with Kafka coming in to save Reno and Aihara in this kaiju form. Episode 9. This episode will cover chapters 18 through 20. Kafka comes to save Reno and Ihara against Kaiju number 9, but that isn't his only opponent when the defense force jumps in for the attack. We will get a battle between Hoshina and Kafka, and this will end with Kafka escaping. Episode 10. This episode will cover chapters 21 through 23. I will have this episode start off with pages 14 to 20 of Kaiju number 9 after the battle, leading into the intro. After the intro, the first 13 pages of chapter 21 will be covered, and then the episode will end off on the last pages of chapter 23, showing the incoming danger. Episode 11. This episode will cover chapters 24 to 25. This episode will start off with these first 7 pages of 24 leading into the intro. Everyone will get ready for the battle, and this will start the Hoshina vs Kaiju number 10 battle. This is a heavy action episode, and I will add some extra scenes of Hoshina fighting and Kikaru fighting with her new battle axe. Episode 12. This episode will cover chapter 26 to 27. The battle continues with everyone giving their all. Kikaru and Reno will work together. Kafka playing support, but only a portion of the episode will handle that. This will focus more on Hoshina and Kaiju number 10. I'm only having these 2 chapters covered here because I'm planning for the season ender. So I'll only want to add scenes to what is necessary, and the action is the best place to put them. Episode 13. This episode will cover chapters 28 through 30 and pages 1 of 3 of chapter 31. This will continue the insane battle of Hoshina and Kaiju number 10. However, this will be the conclusion. We will get to see Mina in action again, teaming up with Hoshina to obliterate Kaiju number 10. This will conclude the episode with Mina taking her last shot and Kaiju number 10 falling. When it comes to directing, I will have this episode without the opening and ending. Episode 14, the finale. This will cover chapter 31 through 33. I will show the fall of Kaiju number 10 again. The group gets together to celebrate the victory until we see a giant Kaiju bomb. Pushed into a corner, Kafka goes in his Kaiju form to take out the bomb, leading into Kafka getting arrested. The rest of the episode will show chapter 33. I think it's a perfect close to the season having Kafka arrested, leaving us off on a cliffhanger. This season may be more episodes, and honestly, I'm be happy for that. The more the merrier. Kaiju number 8 is such a fast-paced series, so it could give us more chapters to cover. But where do you guys think this season will end? How many chapters do you think this will cover? Make sure you comment them down below. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification, that way you'll know when it's out. If you like what you see, give me a like. If not, give me a dislike. It doesn't really matter to me. And if you want to see more, feel free to follow me on Twitter. Until next time, you know where to find you know.